What's going on, y'all? It is Wednesday night, back at the regular scheduled time, your regular scheduled place for your Eagles Elite podcast. We are getting a little bit of a late start tonight. We had a little technical difficulty, but it's all good. You got to push through it. Live shows, it is what it is. But back on the Eagles front, it's time. We'll take a little break and pause our top tens. We're going to pause our season review, and we're just going to take a week and we're going to talk about rumors. We have a lot of players that are rumored in trades, players that haven't showed up for camp, players that have asked for trades that have all been kind of linked to the Philadelphia Eagles in some way, shape, or form. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to take this hour and we're going to really talk about those players, our different thoughts on them. We're going to have everyone kind of just bring a few players that they may have heard about, and we're just going to really chop it up, give y'all some good, tight information from our perspective on what's going to happen. After we do that, the hour's going to be gone. And we're going to be back next week. Hopefully no technical difficulties at 8:30 p.m. EST. So with that being said, it's time to get the squad in. And it's time to get to it. So first, we're going to go ahead and bring in Wyatt. Wyatt, what's going on, man?
Not too much, man. Another show, another week closer to Eagles football, and I'm ready to get into it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then I got Fuji, our part-time fourth guy, is in the building. What up, Fuji?
88 days. It'll kick off about a month and 11 days. The training camp. The 2022 NFC champions will be back. The Philly General will be under center. Let's get the party rocking. Let's get everybody pumped. I mean, it's quiet now, but hey, Eagles kickoff is coming. I mean, single game tickets went on sale yesterday, August 6th at the link. There's an open practice. How's everybody doing? Let's get the party rocking. How you guys doing tonight?
And Eagles Diva, what it do?
What's going on, Bird Gang Nation? We're back for another week. Let's get it.
How are you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Fuji is in rare form tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Love it.
Love the energy.
Yes, sir. It's been
Philly says what's going on. What's up, Philly? Philly. Always know Philly's in those comments. Much love. Appreciate that.
Philly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So, Wyatt, I know we're going to talk about a lot of what could be breaking news possibly in our rumor roundup or our rumor talk. Got to also shout out Mikey. What's going on?
Mikey. Mickey.
How you doing?
Yeah.
Mickey
checks in with us. Appreciate you as well, man. Everybody that watches the Eagles Elite podcast, man. All right, and we got Sean hopping in too. What's up, guys? Fuji with the energy. That's my guy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's up, Sean? Thanks for checking in.
And Coach Dante. What up, Coach
Dante?
Appreciate that as well, man. All the love today. We loving it, man. Like I said, we got a little bit of a late start, little technical difficulties, but hey, you push through it, you make things happen. So before we get into all that, there's one thing that we need to do. We want to keep the heightness at Fuji levels all show, right? So in order for us to do that, there is a little piece of information that we want you guys to see. Let's go.
The kick is away, and the kick it's good! And the Eagles win!
It's hard to come to South Philadelphia and leave here with the win. You just don't come to Philadelphia and leave here with the win.
Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you. Let the celebration begin!
All right.
The music gets me hyped. Beat
Yes,
drop.
sir. Yes, sir. All right, so Wyatt, we know every week we gotta have the breaking news with Wyatt. That's the Wyatt staple. So talk to us, man. What we got going on?
Well, I should have let Fuji go. I didn't know about like the tickets going on sale and everything like that. That's the breaking news right there, man. Like I need to start find which game I'm planning to go to and everything. Try to scoop some tickets. But the biggest news I would say out of this past week, other than the Eagles breaking for the summer till actual training camp comes up here in late July, because they are not having mandatory training camp like a lot of other teams. The Kelly Green jerseys apparently leaked over this past week as far as like the retail version is going to be available for people. And I mean, it's been getting general, like kind of mixed reactions. I would say more so positive than negative. I want to know what your guys' opinions on the jerseys were.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet? Interesting.
No, sir.
Is that on purpose, or is you just kind of like?
I'm waiting until. So for me, I'm waiting till they actually release it, just in case I see like what's there, and then it happens to be something totally different because they didn't got me with that before. So I'm just
exactly because it's not like official. Like even with the leak, nothing has been officially confirmed as of yet.
Yeah.
As I saw something come out last week, and they're going back to when those Kelly Green jerseys came out in '85, and I've been seeing it Jalen Hurts, and I can't wait to get my hands on that. I don't know where the hell to go, but I mean that Jalen Hurts, you got the old school Eagle, with the wings, with the football and the claws. I can't wait to get my damn hands on that hot cake. I mean,
it looks clean. It looks like a clean jersey. I like it.
I mean, I'll say this. It's the midnight green were good, but I think they've had their run. I think you got to go back to Kelly Green. That's just before that was just that era. That was Randall, Jerome Brown, Reggie White, Keith Byers, Seth Joyner, Eric Allen. We could go on. That was just buddy ball.
Yeah. I mean, I like it. I wouldn't say I want to go back like full time to the Kelly Green, because I do like that midnight, but I am all for like it kind of taking over as just like the alternate going forward instead of the black. Even though I like the black, it would be cool to use it every now and then. I would definitely rather have that Kelly Green as the alternate going forward.
Know what I would say?
My thing is, why can't we use both, right? Because we could do the Kelly Green for some games. We could do the black, because the black doesn't necessarily have to have a black helmet.
Right.
Exactly. You can use the green helmet with it.
You use the green helmet, green pants, black jersey, right?
Oh.
Yeah, because it's only the restriction on just the helmets, not the jerseys, right?
Exactly. Excuse me.
Yeah. So why not use all of them?
Look at the NBA and Major League Baseball now. I mean, they're going to 4 or 5 jerseys now. Why not just up it for one more and throw the Kelly Green, mix it in?
Hey, Oregon's got 30 jerseys, right? If Oregon can have 30, we can have 4.
Why not? Exactly.
And I would just in general like to see them mix up the combinations like they did before, like the white on black, and then the green on white or green on black would be sweet.
And the gray pants. I want the Kelly Green jersey with the gray pants.
Oh man,
with the Kelly Green stripe.
That's one thing that hasn't been confirmed or anything. Are the gray pants coming back with the Kelly Green jerseys?
I would think. Why not?
Why? Yeah,
I mean, it's a nice mix. It's a hell of a mix.
That stripe on the side.
Yeah.
All right, we got a couple more comments here. So we got Sean hopping back in with the quiz situation.
Interesting question. We talked about that last week.
Renfro as the slot since they drafted Trey Tucker and signed Jacoby Myers. Thoughts? We'll let Fuji talk about that since he wasn't here last week. And if y'all want to add anything, cool. But another comment we have here, our resident troll. We getting some love from our troll. We all know it's illegal to harm an eagle, but on September 10th, it's happening. So you're telling me, right, on September 10th, you're going to go outside, find the eagle, and you're going to shoot him with an arrow. Because that's the only way that's happening on September 10th. Because the Patriots, with their bereft of talent at the quarterback position, are not going to beat the Eagles. I am sorry, Rod. Actually, I'm not sorry. But I know you have to keep telling yourself that and hype yourself up, because you have to have something to look forward to, because you're a Patriots fan and your run of cheating to win is over. Because you still have to have a good quarterback to cheat to win. And you don't have that. So sorry. But Fuji, what are your thoughts on the Quez Watkins situation, and what do you think we should do? And then we can kind of state our thoughts on last week, or any updates, the thoughts that you guys might have on that, since we got a question from Sean.
I mean, I'd go after Hunter Renfro, and in a heartbeat. Because my thing is, after I forgot the gentleman they signed from the Falcons, but God forbid,
Olamide Zacchaeus.
God forbid. I mean, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. I mean, really, who do you have behind those guys? I mean, I ain't saying forget about signing DeAndre Hopkins. That's too many mouths to feed. But I mean, why not bring in another veteran to put behind one of these guys?
Mm-hmm.
We go back to the draft. Cool. And, you wanted a receiver, which why did they could have had the fastest receiver in the draft, but of course they took that quarterback from Stanford. But I just think they could use another, a third veteran receiver that could really come in here and, besides Hunter Renfrow. I mean, nobody's talking about it, but I mean, you never know. God forbid, you're one injury away, and I don't want to be Debbie Downer, but hey, that's just a part of the game of the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And why not? I mean, why not go after? I don't really know who's out there. I mean, I'm looking at a list now, but I mean, there's DJ Shark. I don't know if anybody has any interest there, but
He's actually already signed to the Panthers.
all right. Oh, I mean,
I forgot about that.
I mean, somebody could get caught. But I mean, I just think this team doesn't have enough depth at receiver after A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. I think it's a question nobody's really talking about. I don't know if anybody here agrees, but I think it's a minor concern going into camp.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that. We definitely need to bring in a veteran of some sort, I would say.
I mean, everybody talks about linebacker, which they could use. I think, my thing is not to switch gears, but I'd go after Yannick Ngakoue. I think he'd be a nice piece to rotate.
We're definitely going to get to that, Fusey, and we're going to definitely get to that. For me, wide receivers, I'll give you a slight list of free agents. You can tell me if any of these guys you feel like is even better than Olamide Zacchaeus. Obviously, Hunter Renfrow is not a free agent. So the one thing about getting Hunter Renfrow is you have to give up an asset in order to obtain him. You have to give up one of these young draft picks, at least one. Maybe some combination of later rounds, depends on what they want for him in order to bring in Hunter Renfrow. So for me, I'd rather, if we got to spend the money anyway, I'd rather go get a guy that we don't have to give up anything for. They either gets released. I think Zacchaeus is going to be our number 3. I think he's better than Quez Watkins, unless Quez Watkins has a big step up because he gets a chip on the shoulder from how much me and other people are saying, hey, you're not the third best receiver on the team anymore. You dropped the ball too much, right?
He's actually listed as the slot on the depth chart right now. He's listed above Quez.
Yep, he is. I think he's better than Quez because he catches the ball and he makes the plays when he needs to. So a quick search on some of the free agent wide receivers that are out there. Mm-hmm. Marvin Jones, Julio Jones, Matthew Slater, Emmanuel Sanders, T.Y. Hilton, DeAndre Hopkins, Danny Amendola, Jermaine Kearse, Randall Cobb, Andre Roberts, Deontay Thompson, and Antonio Brown. Just a quick list of some of the better guys that are there. There's other guys too, like Russell Shepard, James Jones, Eric Weems, Cole Beasley, Chris Hogan, Marquise Lee, Mohamed Sanu, and so on and so forth.
Jarvis Landry.
Right. There's other guys too, but here's what I would say to you, Fuji, my response. I don't think Hunter Renfrow in our system is any better than Olamide Zacchaeus or Quez Watkins. I think he has better hands than Quez, but Quez definitely has a huge speed advantage. So I think if you're going to bring in a third guy, either we brought in some other guys that were signed as undrafted free agents that play wide receiver as well. They may end up being better than that. But I wouldn't spend assets to bring in Hunter Renfrow and then turn around and pay his contract on top of that.
Right.
For this season, because I don't think he's that much of an upgrade. If we were talking about a guy that was like a surefire, so for instance, you say you don't want DeAndre Hopkins. So what if DeAndre Hopkins? I think for me, what's been said about him, and I know this is also linking over into what we're going to talk about for the media of the show. What's to say he's not like, you know what? I'm trying to get a ring. Let me go to Philly. Let me get a ring in Philly, right? Or at least try to get a ring in Philly because nothing's guaranteed. And then if that works out, then I could rebuild myself. Consistency. There's questions about him because of the situation that had him suspended for the games with the performance enhancing drugs and all that. So why not come to Philly, rehabilitate your perception for a season? You got Hurts, you got two other really good wide receivers. Something happens, heaven forbid, one of those guys get injured or misses some games. You've got a guy that can step into the 1 or 2 position. Renfro can't step up and be a 1 or 2.
Right.
Zacchaeus, maybe a low end too. Maybe if you've got the right, situation for him. But DeAndre Hopkins checks all the boxes for what the Philadelphia Eagles really need. A veteran wide receiver. He has the ability to play well. It's all about the contract. Now, if he wants to play to win, then Philadelphia should be an option for him. If he wants to play to get a big contract this year, then you can keep on moving, don't stop. But we got to see which way he really wants to go. For me.
Mm-hmm.
Great analogy.
Yeah.
But
Diva,
what's it going to cost? That's, the Eagles are 14 million under the cap.
Yeah, that's a big question.
We're not going to pay him 13 or 14 million for 1 year. That's not going to happen.
No,
that's why I said it depends on what he's looking for. If you want the money, go somewhere like Ryan Simpson says, the Foxborough, and have somebody that's garbage throw you the ball. If that's what you want.
Yeah.
If it's just money.
You just want the money. You don't want to win.
Right.
No, I think it's more than that for DeAndre, honestly.
And then Mickey says, I can't wait for the Eagles versus Hawks on 9/17.
Should be a good one.
That should be a good. Yeah, that would be pretty close to it. That's gonna be a good game. Diva, what are your thoughts?
I'd rather have DeAndre Hopkins or somebody better, maybe a step up, because I still think, we need that veteran wide receiver. I think it could still help Devontae Smith grow even more. And then it could help AJ a lot, but I think that we do need a veteran wide receiver. So I'd rather have somebody more than Renfro. He's all right, but he's really no better than Quez.
Why?
Yeah, it's like you said, I wouldn't want to give up anything to get Hunter Renfro. Like if he was a free agent, maybe it would be different. But like you're saying, it's not much of an upgrade for the price if you have to trade for him, everything. If D-Hop was able to come in, if he was fine with taking a pay cut to come play at that 3, like I mentioned last week, like he's going to be catching those passes that Quez drops, like in those big moments last year. He's going to be able to get them. You just throw the ball out there. He's going to, anywhere in his vicinity, he's going to catch it. I would definitely be down with DeAndre Hopkins. I don't see it happening at this point, unless you know how he works his magic, try to convince him, but I just don't see it happening.
So Rod says Cole Beasley is old. Hey Rod, that's the perfect kind of player for the Cheatriots.
I don't want Cole Beasley. I don't want Julio Jones either.
Julio's done.
Too many hamstring.
Yeah,
I don't want Julio.
A lot of those guys
hamstring.
on that list are Joel Strolls at this point.
Well, that's the thing. That's why they're out there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But great segue. So we'll slide into some of these rumors. So we'll go ahead and start with Fuji's guy here. So Yannick Ngakoue. Do you guys buy or sell him coming to Philadelphia? And if so, what do you think would be his impact if you're buying him coming?
I think it'd be a nice. Hey, it can't be any worse than what Derek Barnett already is. We and everybody in Eagles Nation already knows that answer. He's always wanted to play here. He lobbied to come here. You could get him at a cheap price. I think he'd be a nice addition, in that rotation package, depending on what the new defensive coordinator's, going to run. Why am I drawing a blank with his name? But
Sean Desai.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for depth purposes. Why not?
What would you give up
sure.
for him? Like, how much you think we should pay him?
I think you can get him dirt cheap at this point. Couple million, 2 million for
Is he a
1
free
year.
agent?
Why not?
Do we know, or is he still?
Yeah.
Is he on the?
No, he's a free agent. He's out.
Is
there.
he? Okay, I didn't know if he was still on Indy or not.
Nah, he's like one of the top free agents left.
Okay, I just haven't
Yeah,
heard his
he's a
name
free
much.
There's a month
so
on
he-
the list now. So
Yeah,
Okay.
he wouldn't cost anything outside of whatever we pay him. So that's always a positive for me when I look at it. I'm like, okay, we can get you, and we don't have to give up
Pay
anything
you.
else to get you. You know,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you figure last week Frank Clark got a 3-year deal with the Broncos, and he was out. And Leonard Little got picked up a couple weeks ago. I forget where he ended up, but he was out there for a bit. So why not take a shot at Ngwako?
Wyatt, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely take a shot at him. I mean, I pulled up his stats here. I mean, he had 9.5 sacks last year, 10 sacks in 2021, and that was on 2 different teams. I mean, it still seems like he can go out there and compete, and especially putting him on a D line like ours, where like we did lose some pieces. I mean, obviously he's not going to come in and be that Javon Hargrave or anything,
Right.
but that would be a really good depth piece if we were able to bring him in. I don't know what the price tag would be on him or anything, like you're saying, maybe like 4 mil, 5 mil. Possibly, but I mean, we always talk about every week. I feel like about bringing sub back eventually, so you don't want to go too heavy with like on that D line as well. But I mean, Yannick Ngakoue is younger. I think he can definitely contribute more, and maybe he could stick around since he wants to be in Philly. Has wanted to be in Philly for a while now.
Diva?
No, I'm all about it. I'm all about depth. As long as we don't
Yeah.
got to pay too much money, I'm all about it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that. For me, only thing is he's a specialist. He's not really a run stopper. I mean, he can hit. Let's not say he can't hit, but he's not really a run stopper. He's known as as a pass rusher. That's his thing. So if you do bring him in, you're getting a guy that doesn't have the versatility that we may look for a lot of times. But maybe you get him in this organization and you work with him and you change that narrative about him not being the guy that's going to hit.
Well, as Wyatt said, you lost Javon Hargrave, 70 plus sacks last year. You're going to miss that sting of Javon Hargrave clogging up the middle, but, Ngwako could make up in the sack total.
Mm-hmm.
So we are going to miss him, but let's not forget there's a guy named Jordan Davis that we brought in to take away some of that. Mm-hmm. And a monster of OTAs, Jalen Carter and Milton
Out
Williams
here breaking sleds.
Breaking sleds.
are going to be taking some of that up. So the thing is, it's not going to be as big of a gap, right? I think one person won't replace it, but I saw some tape of Jordan Davis, and let me tell y'all,
boys.
Yeah, he got in great shape.
League, be wary. He is in shape. All right. To take the words of one of my favorite wrestlers, he's him. And he's going to do it this year. I don't see how he doesn't. Sean has a
great point.
First, we got to go with our troll here. Got to make sure we give our troll his time. All our white receivers left in TB12. Hey, man. I'm not even touching that. I'm not. So Sean says Yannick Ngakoue, consistent pass rusher with tread left on his tires, who has shown the ability to produce for a number of teams and schemes. Ngakoue is the best free agent left in the NFL. I don't know if I'd say he's the best free agent, because I don't think, for what he does, I don't think he's better than Hopkins. Now, if you take Hopkins out, I'll probably agree. But I don't think he's better than Hopkins. Hopkins is still, to me, worse a number 2 receiver on the market, right? I don't see how anybody not named like some of these ridiculous guys like Javon Hargrave, Orlando Brown, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, some of these guys, James Bradbury, Jesse Bates, etc. Those guys, yeah, I'd say they, were top. But after past those guys who, of course, have all been signed, I'd say of what left, I'd say for me, and again, I feel like wide receiver top guys being out there that you can just grab and pay doesn't happen often. So I feel like I would put him above Yannick Ngakoue. But after DeAndre Hopkins, I mean, there's definitely not anybody I see out there that's better than Yannick Ngakoue. So I would still, even if I'm adapting it to my feelings, I still say he's no worse than number 2.
Okay.
No, I mean,
and then
Jason Pierre-Paul,
JPP, yeah.
I used to. I mean, you got just looking at NFL.com. I mean, right now, they have Hopkins ranked 3rd, and Ngakoue ranked 27, Dalvin Cook ranked 30th.
And while we're there, that's where we can go next. So, Diva, we'll start with you. A lot of rumors. A lot of people are saying that Dalvin Cook is coming to the Philadelphia Eagles. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, we don't need him. We have a whole slew of running backs. Number 2, he is always injury prone, has been injury prone since Florida State days, and that carried on to the NFL. So I would say a no and a hell no to that.
All right.
Yeah.
Fuji, what do you think?
Hell no.
Oh, there were rumors on draft weekend that Dalvin Cook's name was mentioned to come to the Eagles. I don't know what the price tag was as far as Minnesota, but Howie tried to draft them originally in 2017, but I would say yeah, but I mean, you went out and traded for DeAndre Swift, and you signed Penny real cheap, but I'll say this: Penny, he's not. I think he's worse off injury prone than Dalvin Cook, and I think if I had to have the lesser of the 2 evils right now, I'd take Dalvin Cook over Rashard Penny. But that's just my opinion. Some folk, I don't know if anybody agrees or disagrees, but I mean, Rashard Penny the last couple of years just can't seem to stay healthy. I mean, at least Dalvin Cook has been 1,000-yard back consistently and hasn't played every game, but has had more consistency than Rashard Penny the last couple of years.
All right, Wyatt, what about you? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we really need him at this point. Like Diva was saying, we already went back, got Swift, got Penny. I mean, obviously, going into camp, everything, they're not shoo-ins to make the roster, I suppose. I mean, I guess they could always cut one of them if they needed to. I just don't see them going out and trying to get him at all. I mean, there was the rumors I'm sure we'll get to about the Derrick Henry trade and everything from weeks ago, but I don't know. I think we're going to stay packed as of right now. I mean, it seems like Sirianni keeps trying to talk up Trey Sermon whenever he can for some reason, even though he's probably not going to use him. But I mean, I think they have a lot of confidence in Gainwell, especially after his performance throughout the postseason. So, I mean, with Swift, which is probably going to be the number 1 back, and they even have Gainwell up above Penny on the depth chart. So who knows? I mean, maybe they want to run with Swift and Gainwell and then see what Penny can do and then cut him or do whatever with them because they still have Boston Scott on the roster or Trey Sermon. But I don't know. It's very weird. I just don't see us going out and scooping someone like that or anybody other. It's a running back in general. I think if we make any moves, it'll be on the defensive side probably.
So for me, if we had made this move before we made the Swift trade, it would make sense. Like why I said, you could cut one of them definitely. Like that could be in the cards, but why would you? Like Rashard Penny is making like $1 million next year.
Yeah, it's like $3 million between Penny, Swift, and Gainwell or something. Like the whole running back room is only like $3 or $4 million in total.
Yeah, and then Swift still on his rookie deal, so this is kind of like a opportunity for Swift to I guess, audition his services, for the team. Now, this is a side thing, but we have to touch on this real quick. So, um, I'm here in Charlotte. So why did Miles Sanders all of a sudden? And Diva, you around? You know what I'm talking. You know what I'm getting ready to say.
I know.
He goes from, I want to be an Eagle and please sign me, and I want to stay in Philadelphia, to I'm so glad I'm out of Philadelphia because they didn't even use me right in the Super Bowl, and I didn't get enough touches, and I should have got more touches. So I'm gonna let everybody talk, but I just want to say a couple of things real quick to Miles Sanders, and I hope he hears this. I hope I ever see him in Charlotte. Miles Sanders, you are injury prone. You are Rashard Penny, DeAndre Swift, and Dalvin Cook all in one together as well. You are always hurt. You were hurt last year. You were hurt in the Super Bowl. That's why you didn't play. How about you stay healthy? Maybe if you stayed healthy, you'd still be in Philadelphia. We don't need one soft back who wants to get paid like he's the best back. You got the highest free agent contract for a running back. Do you think you were going to get paid that in Philadelphia for 1 year playing well? Frank Wright was the only one that went to bat for you and got you that kind of contract. So you know what, Miles Sanders? I'm going to be honest with you. We're glad you're gone. The minute that we grabbed DeAndre Swift, nobody's even thinking about you in Philadelphia anymore. Appreciate what you did while you were here. The 1 year you stayed healthy. But guess what? We moved on. Dry your tears and go out there and get beat up in Carolina on a bad team next year with a quarterback that's smaller than the toddler. And enjoy that.
Oh man.
Right? Well, whoever wants to go next, So
Yeah, I mean, it seems like everybody just salty that leaves here because they want to be here so bad. Like they know what kind of culture we have. We know that the team is trending up. I mean, you can't really trend up any further than going to the Super Bowl, but we're in the right direction for the foreseeable future. It seems like they just salty that, they moved on. We weren't going to pay them what they wanted. And CJ's case, his agent kind of screwed him over on that one. But man, like, other than being injury prone, you got to hold on to the ball, dude. We gave you the ball in the Super Bowl and you fumbled it on the first play. Luckily, it went out of bounds. But dude, you got to hold on to the ball too. But I don't know. You can't just be out here talking smack about the organization whenever like you were out here talking at the end of the season. I love you, Howie. I want the organization to bring me back. I love it here and everything. It's like, okay, what changed? Like other than just moving on, like you obviously wanted to be here, but you didn't want to help us in the long run to make you stay here. Like if you wanted to be here, you would be here.
Oh, I mean, it's like Cole said. I mean, if you look at his career here, he was a couple years in a row, he was averaging 5 point yards a carry. But even under Doug being here, just for whatever reason, they just didn't utilize. In a way, I don't think they utilized him right, but, it was just, I don't think they were in love with, the running back. And, he went to Carolina. He's reunited with Deuce. I'm sure Deuce had some type of input on bringing him down there, being the running backs coach here before he went out to Detroit the last couple of years. But, no, just wasn't ever really a big fan of Sanders. I don't know what it was. I don't know if they just didn't utilize him part.
Weak soft tissue. That's what it was, Fuji. Weak soft tissue.
Fumbleitis.
That's why you weren't. And that as well.
I mean, and like we mentioned, he got outplayed by Gainwell in most of those games in the playoffs too.
Well, he wanted to dance around, like just hit the hole and run. Like, why are you dancing around? Like that was another thing.
Stars football.
Yes, he was always dancing with the stars, and then he would lose yards. A lot of times he was losing yards because he's dancing around so much. He had one good year. And I would be mad too. I'm at Carolina. Like, who wants to be a Carolina Panther? Like, who?
I'll say this.
And we're not even North Carolina. We're not even Panthers fans. So, I mean, I would be real butthurt that I am with Carolina. I mean, I really would. I see why he's hurting. I'm sorry, Miles, but it's just time to move on, boo. You didn't do what you had to do. You didn't capitalize. You fumbled the ball in the Super Bowl. I think you fumbled the ball 2 weeks before that.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
you think we're supposed to continue to have you? I think he's mad because we went and was stacked at the running back position after we got rid of him. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
you had
definitely
your
right,
time,
yeah.
bro. You didn't do what you were supposed to do. And I think he was really utilized well with Doug Penderson, and he still didn't do anything.
He was utilized well with everybody. You can't play if you hurt.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
How about
Or
you
if
stay
you
on the
dancing
field?
around.
Yeah, and it's not like
You were
nobody
hurt in
wanted
the
him to
Super Bowl.
succeed either. Like everybody wanted to see Miles Sanders be that dude.
They were talking about his knee in the Super Bowl. You saw the week before why his carries were cut down. They said he was injured. So come on, Miles. Stop your mess, bro.
Yeah.
Stop your mess. Back to our chat talk here. So Sean says, I'm saying on the defensive side, and look at him when he was with Minnesota, Oakland, especially Jacksonville, agree. Yeah, he's talking
With
about
Giannis.
Giannis, of course.
Yeah.
And then he says that Rod Uncensored, we don't need him here, referring to JPP.
JPP, yeah.
Agreed. Maybe 5 years ago, but we don't even know. Then Rod
Bro.
says, I want to see celebrity boxing match, T.O. versus McNabb.
It's not gonna be a
wanna-
match. T.O. gonna do it to him dirty. Like T.O. going.
I want to
Hey,
see celebrity
out.
boxing,
Hey.
Fletcher Cox versus Carson Wentz. That's what I want to see.
Oh, that's
I
not
don't
gonna
think
be a
that'd
contest
much of a
either.
match. Speaking of T.O., he was at Devontae Smith's celebrity softball game up in Reading.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
They're
Been wanting to
doing-
go to
he's
that
doing
every year
unbelievable.
now.
If
Oh,
we
yeah.
would have said we would sign T.O., he'd come back tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he would. He says it every year, and so like Ocho Cinco does too. He keeps saying
You know
that
what?
if they won't be, I'm available. It's like, man, you're gonna get hurt as soon as you get drilled one of these times.
Now what? I'll
Like,
say this:
36.
T.O. might be near close to 50. All right, knows the difference between being jacked and football shape, but you know,
I mean,
a
Tom Brady's still
couple
out
years
there
ago,
doing-
hey, he didn't lose by much against Tyreek Hill in that race. I mean, I still think T.O. can. I mean, I honestly, I think he would put some of these D-backs to shame today. I
I think
honestly
he's got
do.
the speed. It's just staying healthy and everything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
He'll-
because
he'll-
you know
he'll
you're
destroy
not
as soon as
getting
he gets
cracked
touched.
over the middle like
Right. This
were
ain't
years ago.
the fan
Arena
fantasy
league.
flag football. Come on, bro.
Well,
That he
hey,
played
you
in,
never
yeah.
know.
Yeah. So Mickey Delaney says that the Eagles can train up by not, themselves in the Super Bowl. When you have a team down, you keep them down. Hey, you get no argument, I'm sure, for anybody on this panel about that comment, sir.
Yeah.
Well, we blame Gannon. It's all Gannon's
yeah.
fault.
Gannon and
Defense could have had one stop that whole
Wisconsin's
game.
gone.
They
They're all
didn't. Man,
gone,
I'm not.
so we'll be better. And
Yeah.
then Sean says Sanders' running style, I never cared for. Hit the hole and run the deep ball.
Exactly, bro. Stop
Thank you.
second guessing yourself.
Dancing
tired.
around and moving into coverage.
oh,
If you can move
Preaching to
into
the choir,
coverage.
bro. Preaching to the choir. Believe it. You know what I'm saying? All that dancing and stuff. It's cute sometimes, but like this past year, the only reason he got over 1,000 yards is because he stopped that mess and he hit the hole hard.
You hit the hole
But
and ran.
you saw
Contract
times where
year.
he started regressing, and he was like,
Mhm.
Contract year. That's all.
and that's what I'm saying. That's the best you could do your contract year.
Right.
Come on, man.
Well,
And you had plenty of opportunities.
I guess
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
guess that's
plenty.
why he's playing in the NFC South,
Yeah.
Right.
which has to be
Garbage.
the worst division in the NFL this year.
That's why
And
he
you,
hurt.
and you know what's funny? They're already talking about him and Chuba sharing carries.
With who?
Him and Chuba Hubbard sharing
Chuba
carries.
Hubbard.
Wow.
Yeah. They're already
Chuba
talking
wasn't
about-
bad. He was a good backup for
But they
him.
still
Yeah,
got
that's what I'm
Foreman
saying.
down there too.
Nope. Foreman's gone.
Where'd he go?
I mean, they better
I think he
share
was
carries or
Chicago.
else Sanders out
I'll tell you
week
one
5
thing.
or 4.
Yeah. If you are running back and you end up on the Carolina Panthers, you don't stay there long. Because once somebody else wants you, you are out of there and you can get up out of there. Look at McCaffrey. They left him here. They just don't do a good job at that position because they don't block, because they don't have a good line.
And that's what I was
Mhm.
about to say. McCaffrey, he couldn't stay healthy there. It was just a lot going on. As soon as he went to San Francisco, look what happened. He was
Yep.
healthy.
Funny how that works, right?
More weapons. Don't have
Funny
to
how that
key in
works.
on them.
Funny
Debo
how that
Samuel, George Kittle.
They need to
And
get
And a
rid
line
of
that
him.
can block.
Yeah.
Oh, you got Trent Williams on the right, left
Mhm.
side, I believe.
But you know what?
They still
All
need a
that stuff that San
QB.
Francisco has, they're still not better than the Eagles. Period.
No.
And
They
I'm
got
no
rid of some
quarterback.
people too. They let some people go. So no, I know.
If they had a solid quarterback, It's still not better than the Eagles.
Nope.
You know why? Because Debo Samuel is still running around crying about what happened in the championship game.
He's still crying in his beer.
Yeah.
40
Almost 6
winers.
months
Yeah.
later. 5
No
months.
intestinal fortitude, right? We went on the Super Bowl, guys sliding around. We was mad. We complained about like the refs were helping the Chiefs, but we're not really every time a Chiefs fan talks about they won a Super Bowl, trying to cry and making complaints. Just let it go. Like it is what it is. We got to the Super Bowl. We got beat. Get back and win, right?
Yeah.
So
49ers ain't
now.
saying, oh, it is what it is. We lost in the NFC Championship game. Let's get back and try to win it this year. They're still whining about last year. So enjoy your whining about last year. We moved on from last year because we weren't champs. So since we're not champs, it's time to stop talking about last year and try to be champs this coming season, the new football year. All right. So Sean says Owens is still playing semi-pro basketball, and he's still in good condition. He has that good old hyperbaric chamber too. Yeah, he can have all that, but when he get hit by a young dog in the NFL at safety or corner, I think you would see him take his pads off, his helmet off, and walk off that field, a la your boy Antonio Brown, without all the theatrics.
And this is a totally different generation you're playing against too.
Yeah.
Totally
Bro, we lived, what was it, the 2020 season or 2019 season whenever Alshon and Djax got hurt in the same game or within 2 weeks. Like, I'm tired of having old heads like that on the roster. We don't need it.
Yes, man. Yes. I'm so glad we did a refresh.
Our whole wide receiver core was out in a week and a half.
I'm not supporting it or lobbying for it, but we are talking about the second best wide receiver of all time in my eyes. But
I mean, that's fine. I just don't see it happen. We don't need to bring someone like that back. As good as he could be, I don't know.
I mean, you see what we did with Djax when he came back, and what happened?
Yeah.
Oh, he was.
You're getting one game out of him, maybe.
He was always injury prone.
Yeah.
That dude was getting hurt on plays. He wasn't even getting the ball. Like, what are you doing?
So factual. So very factual. All right, guys. So we all have rumors, right? So let's go around the circle here. Wyatt, talk to us about a rumor that you have heard, and then we'll talk about our thoughts on it.
I mean, I haven't heard too many rumors about like coming to the Eagles per se. I have had some like holdout rumors, more so like kind of positions that maybe we would look at if we wanted to kind of trade for somebody. I had Daniel Hunter from the Vikings who's holding out apparently, and also Rod's not going to like this one, but Lawrence Guy for the Patriots, defensive tackle and defensive end. I feel like if we wanted to go for depth and maybe get a guy that could be around for a couple years, maybe scoop one of those guys if it's possible.
I ain't heard no rumor, but I know Buda Baker is still out there holding out somewhere.
That's my number one. I've been predicting it. I didn't want to say it because I've been harping on it for weeks now. That's why I didn't bring it up.
He's still out there just hanging around. Howie.
Just waiting for that call.
That's it. Just waiting.
I was putting it right out there for you, man.
I think it's going to happen eventually.
Served it up on the platter, and he pushing away this time, of course.
What's it going to take to get Buda Baker? A third-round pick?
Third and maybe like a fifth or something. I don't know.
What's his contract status look like?
Well, he wants a new contract. That's the reason he's holding out. So you got to then factor in what he would want to be paid. That's the thing. He's going into, I believe, the final year of his contract.
Yeah, he's only 27.
Yeah. So he'd want to obviously, get paid from that.
That's a dude you could have for a while, though. If you're able to lock him down.
But those are the guys that want the big checks too. So you got to always think about that. For me, there's Chris Jones from the Kansas City Chiefs. I know, he wants a new contract and everything, but if Chris Jones is out there and you're able to somehow pull off a trade for Chris Jones, if somebody else needs to go bye-bye for that to happen, bye-bye. Right. Bye-bye. Right. We'll holler at you. That's definitely one. Of course, Buda Baker. I believe Levante David still doesn't want to be a Tampa Bay Buck anymore. I wouldn't mind if he were to happen to slide into the ranks of Philadelphia as well. So these guys we're talking about, You guys agree on any of those that you may want to have here in Philly?
I'd take Levante David all day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the New York Minute.
I'll take him and Buda Baker. Let's run this. Hey, figure out the cap. You know what I'm saying? Add 10 more dead years to Lane Johnson in the future. We'll make it happen.
Why not?
Call up Lane again, like, hey man, I'm sorry, I gotta do this again. We gotta restructure that deal.
Call up Jalen, like, hey Jalen, I know we just signed a deal.
I don't really have
another
rumor.
year or two on the deal.
I don't really have a rumor, but my thing is, you know, we believe the Eagles can just plug and play, but is everybody on the show sold on Cam Jurgens playing right guard?
No, I mean, I actually had I had a list of kind of like free agents as well.
Right.
Like one of the ones I was looking at was like Dalton Risner.
So
that's
guard.
who I was going to bring up too, because
okay. Great minds think alike.
28 years old. I think he played. What's he been in the league? 4 years. Played, I think, 62 consecutive games. Like, why is this man out there? Don't hold me to the stats, but he's probably the best offensive guard out there on the.
Well, guys, don't forget, we have a 22-year-old rookie that we drafted named Tyler Steen from Alabama, who's probably going to factor into the decision of who guard position. I don't think Jurgens is a guard. I think he's a center, future, and he needs to stay there and continue to develop that position. And I think Steen was drafted, to be that in the third round, to be that guy, to play that guard position.
Okay.
I think it's his to use. And then we also have former 49er Tyrese Robinson on the roster, as well as the number 2 at right guard right now. So I don't think we're going to put Cam Jurgens at center. I wouldn't mind bringing in a free agent who, could compete with Steen. But I think about the fact too, if we can take a guy like Tyler Steen, plug him in beside Lane Johnson, between Lane Johnson and Jason Kelce, across from Landon Dickerson and Jordan Mailata, I'm feeling really confident about his ability to improve throughout the season and be ready to be that guy. Because if you think about it, rookie contract, right? Landon Dickerson, left guard, rookie contract.
Yeah.
Dickerson, second round pick in 21, Steen, third round pick in 23. So we're getting guys on decent contracts, but they're still rookie deals for non-quarterbacks or wide receivers. So those are pretty friendly deals. So I think that's who I would want to go with. But if we can get someone to come in for the right price, because my thing's always the cost.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, can Driscoll or Suo pay to step in?
That's the question.
I don't think they'd beat out Steen because he has the history at that position. So it'd be harder for someone to come from playing a different position, even though you've been on the team, and beat out a guy who is literally, that's the only position he's ever played. Since he was a kid, that's where he's been playing. Sean also says, I look into Miles Jack or Patrick Queen.
Jack.
Yeah, I wouldn't be upset with either one of those as guys to look at either. Yeah, it always, like I said, everything for me goes back to what's the cost.
No, Patrick Queen's option wasn't picked up by the Ravens.
Right.
Miles Jack would look nice in midnight green or / Kelly green.
Yeah. Speaking of depth, I actually had listed because we have Brett Toth as the backup for our left tackle. Taylor Lewan is out there. I mean, he has an injury history, but if he's going to be a backup, that'd be a nice backup to have at left tackle.
Yeah. I mean, because behind him, we got Trevor Reed and Roderick Johnson. I don't know who those guys are.
Yeah. Taylor Lewan's days of being a starter are over, but that'd be a solid backup to have, especially with the rest of the line that we have.
He was on Tennessee, correct?
Yeah. He was there for a good while, but he just had those season-ending injuries.
Right.
I want to say something that's very interesting to me. Greg Ward, and this is back on the Eagles, but
still there.
Back to wide receiver. Still on the team, but what's funny about Greg Ward is you don't see him playing. Like, what is it? I understand Greg Ward is not the fastest, but I would like him to be like that Jason Avant, right? That OG kind of
Great hands.
Great hands, slow.
Great hands.
If you
right
put
place
the ball,
at the right time.
Yeah, if you put the ball where he can get it, 9 times out of 10 he's going to make the catch. So why can't we find a spot for a guy like that? But we're out here with Quez Watkins running down the field dropping balls.
Yeah.
That's a little, a little questionable.
Well, I mean, the one wide receiver I had listed down was the one I mentioned earlier about if we wanted to possibly replace Quez and we weren't sold on, or like if we still wanted to keep Zacchaeus, bring Jarvis Landry in, depending on the money. Like I wouldn't mind having him as like a third or fourth
Landry.
option.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having Juice. I always like Juice Landry, man. He's solid. He's another one of those guys you talk about, veteran. He fits all the qualifications that we all said we want.
Can I?
So that's a good point. Go
Can
ahead.
I throw a wrench into this for him?
Of course. That's what you're here for, sir.
It's not really talked about, and I don't think it really was in the off season, even though it was rumored about. We're going into the season with Jalen Hurts as the quarterback. I mean, not for nothing, but is anybody like sold on Marcus Mariota as a backup? It's not really talked about, but
I am.
I think he'll do well, to be honest. I think he's exactly the type of backup QB we need with Jalen as QB1. I think he'll be better than Minshew for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, just his history with. I know he wasn't bad in Oakland behind Carr, but never lived up to be the number one pick he was supposed to be. But
yeah, I think coming in, I mean, hopefully he doesn't have to play often or at all. But if he does, I think he'll be fine, especially being in the system that we're running for a mobile QB like that, and also being behind one of the best O-lines, if not the best O-line in football, will help him out as well, because he's been on some teams that have some trash O-lines.
And this 4 to supposedly 5-headed monster running back. We'll never see Trey Sermon, y'all, just so y'all know.
Yeah, and plus we have a ton of great weapons he could use at his disposal as well. It's set up there for him to succeed if he does have to come in. Just hopefully he doesn't have to.
Yeah, I'm fine with him as the backup. I mean, if he was our starting quarterback from week 1, or he felt like he should be, that's one problem. But I think he's resigned to the fact that here he's going to be, the backup, and he knew that when he signed. So I think he'll be fine. I know he was upset with the Falcons, but hey, if you basically take me and replace me with that guy, I'm going to be, I'm going to be a little upset too if I'm Marcus Mariota. But I think here, backup, like Wyatt said, system's right for him. He can step in and do everything that Hurts can do as far as the read and react. Nothing has to change. Receivers don't have to catch the ball differently. They don't have to wait a different count for the ball, a different release or anything. It should be pretty similar because it's the same type of quarterback. And that's what I think hurt Minshew. I think Minshew's better than he played for us, but the system wasn't set up for the way that he needs to play to be successful. It is for Mariota.
They didn't change anything to help him succeed when they needed to.
Just
another Shane Steichen problem.
Yeah.
Speaking of Shane Steichen, was that third string quarterback that was on the Colts who won a Super Bowl here on that team, or is he a free agent? Just out of curiosity.
I don't know. I don't follow that guy or that team.
Well, that guy, number 9, Nick Foles.
Yeah,
he's currently a free agent. I think he's going to retire, to be honest.
Well, that was the rumor.
Yeah.
Speculating. Not saying to bring Nick Foles back, just
good. I'm so glad.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, he can retire an Eagle if he wants, but I mean, he doesn't want to be on the roster.
He could be our emergency quarterback.
Oh, would you take him over Ian Book or what's the other guys?
Yes, I would definitely take him over Ian Book.
Yeah.
I'm not lobbying
you over Ian Book.
I'm not lobbying
right
for Nick Foles to come back. I was just curious.
I got you.
Diva, any thoughts on Mariota?
I mean, yeah, I think he's a good backup. I think he'll be. I don't think he's a starting QB. But I think he's going to be a good backup in our system with Jalen Hurts being able to teach him a little more, and with the new offensive coordinator. I think he'll work well. Be a lot better than Minshew. We ain't got to worry about him being scared. He will take off and run.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so yeah, yeah,
Losing that Dallas game with those turnovers.
yeah. Minshew like a deer in headlights in that game, man.
Yeah.
Game we gave
That was
away
rough.
last. Oh,
Yeah, we're gonna spend some time on that one.
I don't want to throw. I don't want to
one.
throw Slay under the bus against T.Y. Hilton in that game, but
Oh, don't
Go
worry.
ahead. Slade be having his days where he be getting
we
burnt.
will
You hear me?
definitely
Burnt toast.
one over those games, and we will definitely be being honest about guys. Okay, one of the things
Well-
that we pride ourselves on here, when we go over those games, we're going to be honest on how people played. If you didn't play well in that game, you didn't play well.
I mean, there's a couple of games Slade didn't play well. He played too far off his man, or
Yeah.
either he was just not paying attention and just got burnt. Period.
He was listening to the coach, and he knows better than that.
let me
You've
ask.
been around too long to listen to an idiot.
Let me throw this out there. I know, be careful what you wish for. And who else would be the second D back right now? But would anybody be sad if Darius Slade went to Baltimore and didn't re-sign here or restructure the deal?
I mean, it depends if we kept CJ in return, because I mean, who else are you going to have there with James Bradbury, like Zach McPherson, or I don't know who else? But like, I don't. Yeah, I guess, but I wouldn't feel as comfortable going into the season without Darius Slay there.
And you got to remember the big thing about Slade. He's not the athlete he was 3-4 years ago. We get that.
He's been in the league for a very, very long time.
But the knowledge, the ability to teach, the push on the wide receivers, all those other things that he brings to the table, you don't want to lose those and let a team like Baltimore get that for a guy like Rashard Bateman or Zay Flowers. No.
He's basically the Ray Lewis right now for us.
Mm.
I mean, yeah, like we need that.
I don't want to knock the drafting, but this is why, to me, over the last couple of years, I would have loved to seen one of these top D backs come to Philly.
Fuji, you know good and well, if we bring a top D back to Philly, we are going to ruin him. Let him go somewhere else, and then he'll become great. So there's no need to even draft the top one, because we don't know how to develop top cornerbacks. We're not good at it. Just let it go.
I know. I'm just going back to the days of Eric Allen.
Go Birds. Hello, Hawks. Go Birds.
I'm sorry.
No, I feel you, but we're not good at that, right? There's just certain positions we're not good at developing, and cornerback is the apex of that list.
Yeah, but it's just, I'm not trying to throw the GM under the bus, but it just, I could put my head through a concrete wall, because it's either trading for a top D back, or maybe over the years signing like a Troy Vincent. I mean, we haven't drafted a D back since 2002. But,
yeah, we have. We've drafted many D backs. We just
number one.
Oh wait, no, you can't draft. I mean, the thing is, nowadays, if you're going to draft a D back number one, he better come in from day one and be the number one cornerback.
Well, that's what I mean.
Overall number one pick on a D back. No, I would not do that today. If I was the Eagles, and let's say we had a number one pick, let's say we have a horrible year, everybody gets hurt. We're coming into the draft next year, and we had an opportunity to draft a DB number one. We're trading that pick. We're trading down and getting some more first round picks. We're not drafting a DB number one overall in today's NFL. You've got to make somebody overpaid that's desperate to get a quarterback. If you have a top 5 pick and you don't need a quarterback, you can't draft like a D-back number one nowadays, because you can still get them at 5.
Right.
You can still get them at 7, right?
Oh.
So it's a little bit different of a league now. They jump on quarterbacks so hard, the teams that don't have them. And then teams like us just fall into a guy after we jumped on a guy so hard that we shouldn't have.
Well, I think that position may have to be addressed definitely in the next year with Slay.
Keely Ringo is addressing that position, sir.
That's true.
Mhm.
Eat my words on. Yeah, but here's another thing. I had a discussion with my man Sean earlier. Why is Kaylee Ringo the only unsigned draft pick? I
It
believe
is interesting.
Why wasn't he signed? Good
Maybe
point.
because they need to move some money around. Maybe they're not for a pending move. Wait
Maybe.
until everything's done.
And don't forget, we have Greedy Williams too, who we picked up as an unrestricted free agent. If he has a good year, he's a guy that could be the guy on the other side. He's been injured a couple of years, but again, you're getting a guy like Greedy Williams. You're getting a guy like Keely Ringo. And I mean, even if even if the contract hasn't been signed yet, he's a 4th round pick. He has a slot. He's not like a quarterback or anybody that's going to get a bonus. He's already slotted. It's just a matter of him putting pen to paper. But you get Keely Ringo, Greedy Williams, a year or two to sit and learn at the feet of Darius Slay and James Bradbury. I mean, I think these are 2 guys, especially if you can get Greedy signed long term. After having maybe a solid year this year, get him signed long term. These are 2 guys you can have for the next 3, 4, 5 years, manning those corner positions that are young guys. Because Greedy Williams has only been in the league, I think, a couple of years. So we don't draft well normally at cornerback, but I think Ringo in the 4th round, I think that was a value pick. And again, now that we actually have good cornerbacks to teach technique, to teach the thought process, to teach what to look for, to mirror on the field, this is what you should be looking to do. Understand I only have so many years left, and then these guys are going to be the ones playing. I think that would be good for us.
According to OTA's mini camps, weren't they saying that Sidney Brown was a standout in the secondary?
Not a name. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
That definitely is a name I haven't heard in a long time. So Sean says, don't sleep on Goodrich, Joby, even Rick's. Interest to see who stays, who goes. So for those who may not be familiar with those names, those are guys that we have. So Josh Joby, he was on the team last year. If you remember, a guy getting burnt in the secondary, and you went to throw things at your TV at them. That was either Josh Joby or Josiah Scott.
Yeah.
He's also talking about Eli Ricks, who was a player that we signed this year. And then also he's talking about Mario Goodrich. So these are guys that are kind of like on the back end of the roster. I see them as maybe long-term backups, but again, to Sean's point, once you start getting the field and playing, you can outplay where everybody sees you at.
Mm-hmm.
Can Avonte Maddox stay healthy?
Yeah, that's another question.
Sean. See? So I just want to say
he's like, wait a minute, hold up.
He brought up, when are we ever going to get a return specialist like Vi Sikahima and Brian Mitchell? That was the last of them, So I want to say this. Vi Sikahima. So if you ever played Tecmo Super Bowl, if you ever played the early like Madden games, right? And you had Vi Sikahima as your return guy, real life and on the game, Vi Sikahima was a beast at the returns. Now you put him on the field to play his position, that's a whole different story. But as a kick returner, punt returner, I remember in the game, Tecmo Super Bowl, I used to take out the punt return. I forgot who it was, and put in Vi Sikahima so he could do kickoffs and punts. Damn, flying, bro. This was a special player. Brian Mitchell, that's another great point, Sean. So that's what some of these guys that we're bringing are supposed to be. For me, I would just put Boston Scott back there. I would just let Boston Scott be the returner because I think he can do that really well as play quarterback. Running back. So I think that would be a good position for a guy like him. But I think the days of just the guy being a kick returner, it's hard because you're taking spots away from other guys. Right now, Boston Scott is the favorite for kick returner, but unfortunately, the favorite for punt returner is Britton Kobe.
Not sold on him.
Yeah,
Not
I'm
either.
not sold on him. I'd rather give Devin Allen or Charleston Rambo the chance before him, but I'm not the one.
We need a
making
whole
this
new special teams coach in general first before we
Right.
figure anything else out.
We could, for me, we could keep Boston Scott. Everybody else on special teams that's not the punter, kicker, or the place kicker could go.
Okay.
You know, all the people that play on special teams, you don't contribute anything but special teams. We can't put you on the field in your position. You could go.
Yeah.
We can find other guys to come in and just do special teams. Better than you guys did last year.
Practice squad's full of them.
No,
Oh gosh.
really, if you look at the Achilles heel, I mean, really, that was the backbreaker. Was that special teams? No.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I mean, you need another punter because
Oh, we got a punter.
Yeah, we got Sip-Off back now. Remember he got
Well, no,
hurt.
I was just talking about the young dude we picked up.
Yeah, we got another dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got Sippums.
Late.
I like Sippums.
Sean says Allen is more focused on Olympics for hurdles. Hey, he still would be better than Britton Covey, in my opinion. Yeah, we did get another punter. You're talking about
Ty Zettner.
Ty
Yeah.
Zettner. I mean, I like Sip-Off personally.
That dude can boot the ball, though. I've seen the videos
But-
of him.
Yeah, but I've seen videos of Zettner, and I will not be upset if for some reason he ends up replacing Sip-Off.
Yeah. I actually, because I know we're going to probably be winding down. I actually had two more
Not a
names on my
bad
list
chance.
here.
Go ahead, sir.
So as far, I actually had a backup tight end that's a free agent. Then if we were interested to bring in, because all of our backups either get hurt or they're just kind of meh. I have Cameron Brate. He's a free agent that's out there.
I wouldn't be upset if we were to make that move.
That would be kind of like our Richard Rodgers move from a couple years ago,
Mhm.
how we had him on the roster. And the other one I had was safety John Johnson, who's out there, which is interesting because he has been like somewhat solid. He hasn't been terrible, but he's a free agent currently, and he's a safety. I would say if you don't get Buda Baker, maybe go out and try to pick him up if he's still available.
as far as tight end, I know this kind of like went under the radar, but I think Dan Arnold was a pretty solid pickup. I mean, he's not flash, but
Yeah, I wouldn't. One more wouldn't hurt.
no,
Yeah.
not at all. Because
Matt Ariza.
I forgot we scooped Dan Arnold. That was like I forgot about that move completely.
But I still say if you could bring in another guy, and then maybe some of these other guys play a little bit less,
well,
I would be fine with that too.
Jackson always seems he just can't even get on the field.
Yeah, he's great for the 5 plays he plays.
Right. I mean, Calcaterra, jury's still out on him, and
Yeah, because
Guess
he's one
same
more
with Jack
concussion
Stoll,
away
too.
from. Calcaterra is probably one more concussion away from being done with football. Period. Because he already retired one time in college from concussion, so I wouldn't want. I like what he does, but I'm just wary because we're so close to, you know what I'm saying, one more hit and he could be done, and that just worries me.
Yeah.
So those are the 2 goos that you had, Wyatt. Not bad.
Yeah, that was the last one. The last couple of players on my list that I had, like as far as free agents, that would possibly go out there and pick up.
Ladies and gentlemen, went a little bit over our allotted hour time frame, which normally happens every week, to be honest. But so we'll definitely be back in next week. We'll talk some OTA, a little more in depth on some things that happened in OTA. I wanted to get to some of that tonight, but a lot of good discussion. So why break it up?
Yeah,
we always fly a little off the cuff. That's what we do around here. I also want to shout out Shady Sports Network, who is our partner, also streaming the show, getting us some more people to watch, bigger audience. So appreciate that. Check us out. If you watching the show, any part of it you haven't liked, subscribe, and share the show. Please make sure you do so. And even if you're not watching it live because you weren't able to, we appreciate you going back and watching the show. All the likes, all the shares, all the comments, all the watches, all those things help us grow, man. We're just here trying to grow, attempting to make this show the best it can be for you guys. And we're going to be doing some more interactive things, so keep an eye out, for those things. We're still going through our top 10s. I believe we're going to be doing top 10 guards in Eagles history next week, so you guys going to look out for that. Have your list ready. Post your list in the comments when we're going over who you have, what place. Interact with us. We're here for it. Any other thoughts from you guys?
No, man, it was a great week. It was a little different, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I got to switch it up a little bit, right? If we do the same thing every week, people are like, oh, they about to sit there and do the same thing again. So we want to switch it up a little bit from time to time.
Yeah. I think we touched on, certain things, some folks may forget. I mean, right now it's kind of quiet with the roster, and maybe Howie does something in the upcoming weeks, or you're only like a month and 10 days to training camp.
Yep.
So I believe the Eagles report July 25th. So it's 6 weeks away. But
and also, guys, Fuji's right in Philly, right? So we got our guys right there in Philly. So Fuji might get some of those little sprinkles of info the rest of us don't have yet.
I'll be sharing it out. Don't worry. There's plenty of reporters in this city that everybody talks Eagles football like it's religion, and which it is. It's just the Eagles do own the city.
True that. And shout out to Eagles Diva. I know she had to hop off tonight, but shout out to Eagles Diva as well, bringing that female perspective to the show. We always need that as well, just looking at it from different angles. Make sure you check out Play Callers on Friday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I believe, Fuji, you have another show. I know why you have another show, so make sure you plug those here, guys. Our cheap plug time.
Yes, sir. You want to go, Fuji?
You can go, what?
All right, man. Yeah, anybody go ahead and check me out on Twitter at Wyatt Brugard. That's pretty much where I'm talking most of my sports stuff, pretty much mainly Eagles and some other stuff as well. But my other channel, Cinema Trip Reviews, go check us out on YouTube and pretty much anywhere you get your podcasts, pretty much just movie reviews and TV shows and such. Pretty much available anywhere you get your podcasts, and also on Twitter and Instagram.
I'm on the out of the box sports entertainment, which is the Sully Squad from 6 to 7. Matter of fact, Cole, we are having Megan Price, a colleague of yours, coming on Monday night to talk about the upcoming NBA draft a week from tomorrow. So, touching on
cool
all bits of your NBA champion Denver Nuggets. Congratulations. And see how it's going to go down. San Antonio with the number 1 pick. And just from on this side in Philly, we'll see what the heck the Sixers are going to plan on doing with Nick Nurse.
Yeah, Meg's one of the most knowledgeable females, or not even females, person about NBA and WNBA. So y'all getting her to be able to come on, that's a good look. Shout out to Megan.
I know she's got a few podcasts. Actually, I believe she says she's a Cowboys fan, so she's pretty knowledgeable in that aspect too. On that side, so
she's one of the better ones. She's one of the ones.
Looking forward to having Megan on Monday night.
Definitely. All right, so we're gonna end things here for the night. Appreciate everybody that hopped in. Sean, appreciate you for riding with us for the whole episode, man. Definitely appreciate that.
Thanks for watching.
Love to have as much support as we can get. We'll be back next week, and make sure, as always, remind 2 of your friends, 3 of your enemies. Just because they don't like you don't mean they won't like us. With that, #FlyEaglesFly, #BeElite. Come back, rock with us next week. Hopefully we'll get started on time. No technical issues.
And go Birds.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Go Birds.